going on, guys? I am back in Canada. I've got my Tim Hortons coffee ready to go here. It's freezing cold in Canada, but I'm kind of glad to be back, as much as I hate the snow and the cold weather. So thank you first off to everybody who asked a question. I'm going to go through this as quick as possible. I'm going to try not to get sidetracked at all, so I'm going to get right into this. I'm going to answer every single question that was posted, and I'm going to start off with the first question that was posted by Ibrahim Best. Do you have Wind Waker HD full game download? No, I gave it away to my nephew with the one that I got in that bundle. If you're only allowed to keep 5 items currently in your game room, what would they be? Great question. Just looking around, definitely my MAME arcade cab, my my Bubble Checks hockey, and I guess probably mostly just the expensive things. I mean, those two are both expensive, but they definitely have some sentimental value. Probably systems right now. My Xbox One. I guess more stuff that I wouldn't want to lose. I shouldn't say that. It would definitely be my Vectrex and probably my Neo Geo AES console too. Yeah, I always think about what I would grab if there were a fire down here. What's the first thing I would grab? How long did it take you to get the last question was by HerbieAss007. Anyways, Trockstar. How long did it take you to get everything you have, and have you time to play all of your games? That's kind of a common question that's going to come up here. Clearly, I'm not going to be able to play every single game in here. I do this just... Obviously, I play the games as much as possible. It's getting a little tougher with two kids, and I need to be a little bit more conscious of especially buying newer games, of what I'm actually going to be able to play. I do enjoy the collecting aspect as by itself. I enjoy going to garage sales and getting the best deals possible. That's a big part of collecting for me. I really enjoy the hunt, but I'll never be able to play all these. 3/3. What is your most special garage sale find? Not necessarily the most valuable or rare, but just something that you were really happy to find. I found a copy of Snow Brothers. I didn't even realize I had it. A couple boxed and complete Super Nintendo games. What was in there? Yoshi's Island boxed and complete, and that's just a game that I actually hadn't come across until that time that I picked it up. Those are the two that come to mind. Givasaurix. What is the best way to get video game consoles for the cheapest prices? Garage selling, family, friends. Let them know that you're collecting old video games, and you can get actually a lot of free stuff that way. It didn't work great for me, but it is a good idea to do that. Nintendo Lovers 1, 2, 3. What is the best game find deal of summer 2013? Probably that SNES lot that I was talking about. $10, bag full of box games, system, controllers, all that. $10. That's where the Yoshi's Island, Secret of Evermore was in there, and a bunch of other great games. What are the 5 games you want most for your collection? This is from Bellis. Oh my God, my readings. Belliskner 999 PSN. Belliskner. What are the 5 games you want most for your collection? Can't be Dreamcast. Also, are you going for another complete set once you finish the Dreamcast? Once I'm finished the Dreamcast, I would love to complete a TurboGrafx set. That's not going to happen. Vectrex I would love to complete. That's more of a possibility. Maybe something like the Virtual Boy. The Dreamcast is probably the Dreamcast is pretty much the only time I'm actually going to actively seek out to complete the collection, just because I love the system so much. I would never just go and spend the money to complete an NES or almost any other collection, to be honest, just because, like I said, I enjoy the hunt, and I don't mind waiting and finding them at garage sales and for really good deals. So the 5 games I want most for my collection, definitely Chrono Trigger. I don't have that yet. I'm still looking for a good deal. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank now. Let me see here. Chrono Trigger, a couple SNES games I really want. Wild Guns, Musha for the Genesis. I would really like to get some better Sega CD and Saturn games. Panzer Dragoon Saga I would love. A bunch of the RPGs on the Sega CD I would love to have. Some of the shooters on the Sega CD and Saturn. This is going to take a really long time. What is your favorite game series of all time? I'd have to say Metal Gear or Final Fantasy. That's from Pikachu7251. Machine Games, Texas. So many questions to ask. Number one, what are your ultimate collecting goals? Number one is to complete my Dreamcast set first off. And like I said, I'd really like to get some of the better titles for the Saturn, Sega CD, and work on my TurboGrafx collection. Top 3 most unique items. I guess my Snow Brothers copy. I have Pure Solar on the Genesis. That's kind of a unique item. And I don't know, Earthbound's not unique. Let me see. I have a sealed Killer Instinct up there. There's another one of my one of my best garage sale finds of 2013. It's hard to remember what I have or what I picked up from 2013. But yeah, that sealed Killer Instinct's kind of cool. Favorite series, Metal Gear, I said. Yeah, that's it from Machine Games, Texas. Go check out his channel, really good channel. What do you do for a living? I get this all the time. Okay, so I worked at a hospital for 10 years, pretty much straight out of high school. I recently quit that job. My wife and I started a multidisciplinary health center. So we have chiropractors, doctors, massage therapists, and we have actually a store, like a dispensary for vitamins and supplements. So I've over the past year or year and a half, I've been running that. I run the store there. My wife's actually a doctor. So yeah, I've been running. Basically, my wife and I own our own business. So. And right now, now that that's all set up, I'm actually, most of the time, half the time I'm a stay-at-home dad, I'm watching the kids, and the other half I spend running the store and taking care of financial stuff for the business. So, Vladimir Kunikov, as a father, do you see little kids getting involved in gaming since first years of life? All sensor gadgets and tons of cool looking games, for example. So what I think here he's referring to is how kids are so in tune with technology and getting into games really early. Much like my generation, my parents have no idea how to use, I mean they can surf the internet, but my generation started the, you know, being able to use computers and stuff like that. And I'm thinking of my nephew specifically. He already is far past where I was, probably in my teens, and he's 9 years old. So, so yeah, I think kids, as generations go on, are going to be far more adept at playing video games and being used to technology. Natasha 3185, what is your favorite handheld system and why? Design-wise, I would say the GBA SP, and that actually might be the GBA might be my favorite handheld system. I just have the biggest connection to that. I bought one day one and got some great games. I remember playing Tony Hawk to death on that. Golden Sun I played a ton of on the GBA. Design wise, I'm still really in love with the DSi XL. I think that's a fantastically made system. 222277. Over the years of collecting, what are some lessons, important tips you've learned that you can share with new collectors? What do you wish you could have done better or different in your collecting career? Number one tip I can give anybody who's collecting is be patient. Anybody who wants to go and just collect like crazy and spend full price on everything is going to burn out, and then those are the guys that are going to be selling off their collection in a couple years. That being said, that's tough to do. I'm in my 30s now. When I was in my 20s and had all my income was essentially disposable, I would just buy anything I felt like buying. Now I have to be more choosy. Believe it or not, I am pretty choosy with what I buy. Most of the time, I still make some poor purchases. What would you have done better or different. I would have started earlier. I got in 2009-ish I started collecting, which was before, there's like a 2012 video game collecting boom where it just got extremely popular and a whole bunch of people got into it. So thank God I got in a couple years prior to that, but if I had got in 3 years more, I would have been able to grab a lot of stuff for a lot cheaper. Yeah, so the best thing I can tell you is just be patient. If you were suddenly, this is a great question, if this is from 22227 also. If you were to suddenly become rich, how would your collecting habits change? Would you justify, or would you just buy everything full price and beef up your collection quickly? Would you still hunt for deals and that rare find? Be honest, he says. If I had a ton of money, I would probably go and do something. I would complete my Dreamcast collection. I would spend the money to go probably complete a TurboGrafx, just because those are really hard to find. I'm not going to find that at garage sale. I would not go complete. I might buy some of the rare NES titles, but I wouldn't complete anything else, to be honest. I'd buy a couple rare titles, but I still, like you said, I really enjoy the hunt. And if I just blew it, what would I do? I would be, I don't know, my hobby, I mean, I wouldn't really be a, I guess if I had everything, if you have everything and stop collecting, you're no longer a collector. Well, I guess you are, but, alright, I'm blabbering on here. Okay, this one's from Anthony, all capital letters. Gay-ass video as usual. Gay-ass video as usual. Delete your YouTube account, nobody likes nerds. Thanks, Anthony. I always love getting comments like that. To be honest, I've like talked about this with my wife about YouTube. 99.9% of this is fantastic, and like everybody's extremely nice. And I get a comment like this. I actually just this is hilarious. I love this. This is so funny. And thanks to Paul Cusack, Eric Miles, and Space Patrol for all basically telling that guy to go fuck himself. Paul Cusack's comment is hilarious on this. I don't want to diss anybody whose name is Anthony, but it's pretty freaking funny. That made me laugh, Paul. Claw 100, do you like collecting Blu-rays and DVDs anymore? Please give me a shout out, please. Claw 100. Yeah, I buy Blu-rays and DVDs. I still buy them at garage sales. I get them for 50 cents or so, so I do like to pick up, but not like I used to. I used to buy DVDs like crazy. Now, in terms of Blu-rays, I've been buying a lot of 3D stuff. Where do you sell all your extra stuff? I just sell it locally on Kijiji, which is like Craigslist here. I price things to go. If I get a good deal on something, I don't want to price gouge somebody. A lot of times I'll come home on a Saturday, and by Sunday, all the extra stuff is either traded or sold. Yeah, so I try and not be a douchebag, and my stuff moves extremely quick, so I know that I'm pricing it very reasonable. What are your 3 favorite Dreamcast games you own? Oh man, Power Stone, the original for sure. Shenmue. Oh man, Dreamcast. Oh god, gotta take a quick look here. Shenmue, I will go with Cannon Spike, I love. Jet Grind Radio, I'm getting a little bit too deep. I love these games though. Skies of Arcadia, I really like. I like the Crazy Taxi games. Ready to Rumble, I loved when it first came out as a launch game. I love playing that. Do you have to be Canadian to be part of Team Canada? From Corey Samer. Corey, I think, you know, there was one, it was either, I get Corey and Dr. Smitty mixed up sometimes, but one of them said they were from real northern Minnesota, so anyways, yeah, you have to be a Canadian to be part of Team Canada, sorry. Griffin McCombs, how much do you think your whole collection is worth today? I get this question all the time. It's worth triple at least for what I paid for it. I think if I look around here once in a while, and over the years, maybe probably the stuff, everything that's in here, the TVs, the arcade, Super Chucks, probably I would say 15 maybe. And I mean, I've said it before, but 70% of my 60 to 70% of my collection it's been free from garage selling. And then obviously with the proceeds from garage selling, it all goes right back into the collection. So at some point, most of the stuff down here will be completely free. So I would definitely not lose money if I ever for some reason did sell my collection, which I wouldn't. You would lose a ton of money by just selling it as a collection. But even then, I still wouldn't lose money. I would always come out on top. Basically, the collection's worth, as I have calculated, at least 3 times what I paid for it. KC loves kicks. Guy below me on this pier. Oh yeah, he's KC loves kicks. Thank you to you too. He was telling it that Anthony, you got to go fuck himself too, basically. Captain Akron, Captain Akron, 27. I'm guessing you're maybe from Akron. What game did your kids play first? My kids are pretty young. The only thing he's really played, my 2-year-old, is Super Mario World, but he's slowly getting a gang of that. Chris Mills, do a Wii U collection, please. I will do that. It's not too extensive. Top 5 games of all time, do a Wii collection, Chris Mills. Top 5 games of all time. Favorite games, oh geez. BioShock, the original, I think is one of the greatest games ever made. Oh man, I am drawing a blank. Metal Gear Solid, I love. One of my favorite games of all time. Oh, I really need to look around to think about that. Favorite games of all time. Power Stone's got to be up there. Final Fantasy VII, I know that's a popular answer. Super Mario 3. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. People ask me that question all the time. What's your favorite game of all time? And it's so hard to answer, just like favorite movie. JR Man 331. Do you have a budget for buying games, or do you typically purchase games based on how much you are buying and flipping to reinvest back in your collection? I don't have a budget. I am starting to think of a budget. Quickly to go into this, so I'm getting enough subscribers now and enough views to make a little bit of money from YouTube. It's nothing crazy, but right now I think it's around $100 a month. So I guess my ultimate goal, I don't make these videos to make money because you really don't make much, but if I could someday get to like 300 bucks a month, the way I've calculated in my head, that's like would be ideal with the money that I make garage selling and flipping, which goes back into the collection. If I had 3 from YouTube revenue, basically I would be spending zero money, zero personal money on video games, and that would be amazing. So I mean, I've talked about that with my wife, and she's giving me hard times about picking stuff up, but she really doesn't anymore because she sees how much I get through garage selling, and she's getting a little more interested, and she doesn't think the YouTube thing is as silly as she used to now that I'm getting more subscribers and getting a check once a month. So yeah, like I said, my ultimate goal would be if I can make enough money just to support my habit. That'd be awesome. Have you ever wondered what you might do if you run out of space in your basement for storing your games? If you lost all your games and had to start over, what would you do differently? Do you think you wouldn't collect anymore, considering how popular competitive collecting has become? What's your strategy for selling console doubles and console doubles? Do you use Kijiji or some other strategy? That's all from JR Man 331. The reselling thing I answered. Oh my god, we're already at 19 minutes. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Answered the reselling thing already. Let me see here. If I had to start over, I would probably... I would just keep garage selling. I would cry if I had to start over. I don't think I would do anything differently, to be honest. I would probably, if anything, would be more thrifty with how I've spent. I'm not going to run out of space down here. If I did, I'm going to start thinning out my collection. I still got plenty of room to put stuff. I have started thinking about someday thinning some things out, like the Intellivision, ColecoVision stuff. I just don't have much of a connection to that. Let's see. how far am I here? This is going to be a long, well, okay, well I'm not, okay, I gotta start moving here. T-Gamer, how old are you? And he calls me Jay here. I guess I'll address that too. My YouTube name is SeeJayAre. It's SeeJayAre for everything, PSN, Xbox. It's just my initials. It's just SeeJayAre, but it's spelled out SeeJayAre. So I guess I don't mind if people call me Jay. My biggest deal of all time collecting. I still always go back. I still remember the house. It's on my garage sale route. And I think about it every time I go by that house. It was a hockey bag full of video games. Super Nintendo, N64, SNES, and about 50 games in a hockey bag. The guy just said 20 bucks. And I actually went back and spoke to that guy last year. And he said, oh yeah, you're the guy that I gave that stuff for free away to and blah blah blah. But that was actually at a point where I hadn't been collecting long. So most of that stuff is still in my collection today. Victor the Red 123, biggest deal of all time. I just read that one. That one was by Victor the Red 123. Alistair Papalardo, that's a cool name. Can you do a video of your 360 collection? I will get to that eventually. Dan Mack, I'm a big fan. How big of a kitchen do you have to get? Oh yeah, I remember this. How big of a kitchen do you have to get your wife so she allows you to have that big of a space? Basically, I'm in the basement. If there wasn't video games down here, there would be nothing else right at the moment. It is finished. It's cold. There's no bathroom finish down here. So she really doesn't give me a hard time. She's her family's Croatian, and to be honest, zero Croatians use their basement for other than storing old printers and fax machines. Nobody in her family uses her basement, so it's almost like a space that she doesn't even consider usable, which is awesome. My wife is really cool. She's actually not the type. She's not the type to give me shit for stuff like this. Once in a while, she'll say something, but she's really good about it. And she actually plays video games, but for the most part, she really doesn't come down here. So, not really much of an issue. Dan Mac, do you play your games? How many hours a week? Right now, if I can get 5 to 10 hours a week, that's pretty good for me. I play a lot of handhelds in bed at night after the kids go to bed. Randy Santos, considering your massive collection in your room, what console and game do you play the most out of all of them? Right now it's PS4. Right now I'm playing the newer gen stuff. I still play the Dreamcast quite a bit, and I still play my retro systems over here with my son. Mario World at the moment. So Super Nintendo, NES, the new consoles, and Dreamcast are what I play the most besides handheld stuff. Platinum Pace, KW Games Exchange, KW Vintage Games, Good Time Games. What are your preferred Kitchener-Waterloo game stores? Games Exchange has gotten much better over the years since I think the son took over. KW Vintage Games I'll never set foot in. And Good Time Games is probably my most preferred. I actually really like the guy that owns it, really nice guy. They're going to give you a good deal and not screw you over there. So Good Time Games is definitely the place I would recommend going. That being said, I really don't go to, the place I actually go the most is Microplay. That's where definitely, it's in my neighborhood, so I've been going there for years, and you can still find good deals there. And the staff's always been good. So Microplay on Ottawa Street is the place where I go the most for retro stuff. But any Microplay in the area is actually quite good. For your first game, what is your first gaming memory? Cat's reviews. What got you into gaming? My first gaming memory is getting a Atari 2600. I vaguely remember playing the games, but that would be my first system memory that I have of actually having a console. But my more vivid memories would be the NES and the original Super Mario Brothers. That probably got me into gaming. What got me into collecting was finding those games, my original system, and my stack of NES games up in my attic about 5 years ago. Paul Cusack, what are you going to do when you run out of room? Will you sell off some of your collection to make room, or turn your weight room into the extension of the gaming room? Keep up the great videos, thank you. Yeah, I have a little bit of a gym back there that clearly never gets used. if I needed to, I would probably move stuff into there. And I kind of answered whether I would get rid of stuff or not already. R.E. Lewis, 2011. I always forget how to read his name. One of my favorite games to play with my dad growing up was Diddy Kong Racing on the N64, and eventually we both ended up getting PSPs so we could play Hot Shots Golf together. I hope that's the relationship I have with my kid. I can't wait for that kind of stuff. My question is, are there any specific games, retro, modern, that you enjoy playing with your kids? Yeah, like I said, my kids are pretty young yet, so the only thing I've really played with them is Super Mario World. Favorite game, movie, and Pokemon? My favorite game movie would be The Wizard. It came out at a time when I was the perfect age and ate that stuff up. I still enjoy it, actually. I think it's a good movie. It's a bit cheesy, but all in all, an enjoyable movie. The Mario Brothers movie I watched recently, and it's borderline unwatchable. And I'm drawing a blank for other video game movies right now. King of Kong, I guess, is a video game movie. Love that. Pokemon, I don't really have an answer there. I'm not huge into Pokemon, so. Ellis Suarez, what is your rarest piece in your collection, and what's your all-time favorite console and game? I answered those already. Dio Mato, which game comes to mind when you first go back to your childhood? Just answered that. You know, everyone has that game which they will never be forgotten and will always be part of our childhood memory. Greetings from Germany. Yeah, the original Super Mario and Mario 3 for sure. Those would be the first things I think of. Nick Carroll. Hey CJR, I love religiously watch your videos. I heard you live in Canada. I do 2 hours from Toronto. He just has a question if he wants to trade sometime. Isaac Shep, for someone newer to collecting, how would you suggest growing your collection without buying everything you see? Like I said, be patient, go to a garage sale. Mention to your family that you're collecting video games. You hopefully get some freebies there. Rarest game I own, probably Snow Brothers, I guess. Eric Miles, favor the next-gen gaming system, PS4 at the moment. How does your wife feel about your game collecting? Sean W. just answered that. Mr. Dante D1. How did you acquire your games for free? One of your last videos, you mentioned that you acquired a lot of your games for free. How are you able to do this? I already addressed that. Just garage sales, flipping the doubles. That may sound like, if you watch my garage sale pickup videos, you'll see exactly the mass quantity that I'm actually doing that at. Great question here. The Gamers 01. Do you ever put on a vinyl or just some music podcasts in general whilst you play some games? I personally love listening to music when I'm pretty laid back. When I'm playing a pretty laid back game that doesn't require you to listen to much dialogue. My reading skills are going downhill here. Yes, I listen to podcasts. There can't be a person on earth that listens to more podcasts than I do. I can't fall asleep at night without having a podcast playing while I'm trying to fall asleep. It's just a thing. I'm constantly in my own head thinking, stressing about things. So I used to leave the TV on, but now I listen to a podcast. So I listen to a ton of gaming podcasts. Weekend Confirmed, the usual stuff, the Joystick, Rebel FM. I listen to a lot of sports podcasts too. So yeah, when I'm playing stuff like NBA 2K14, which I'm playing the most like right now, I'm constantly listening to a podcast. Music, not so much, but definitely podcasts I listen to while gaming. Most valuable game, I answered that. Raz Peltonen, what do you do for a living? Answered that already. You think you'll ever stop collecting games? I mean, will there be a point where you have everything you want? Are there systems you still need to start collecting for, i.e. Neo Geo? MUS247365 asks, yeah, will I ever stop collecting? Probably not. I guess there'll always be new systems and new games to get. Any systems that you still need to start collecting for, probably like Neo Geo CD, Turbo CD. I would like to have those. That's all I can really think of though. terms of stuff I don't have. Michael A. Joseph. I believe you mentioned in the past you have your own business. I answered that already. 4 kids. How do you have... I have 4 kids ranging from 1 to 10. Just curious how you have time to garage sale weekly and spend time through Howie and family yourself. Like I said, my wife's extremely understanding. She will watch the kids on Saturday while I do my garage sale thing, which is awesome. I really don't do much. I mean, I have 2 kids. I got a group of small friends, but I don't go out anymore. So I mean, when I ask to go out on a Saturday to go garage selling, my wife's pretty accommodating. How was your wife? Okay, I already answered that. Yeah, let's move on here. What do you like more, PS4 or Xbox One? At the moment it's PS4. JS Manilau. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. Favorite next-gen title? Right now it's NBA 2K14. What are you looking most forward to? Probably The Witcher 3. Sinisterly Black. Sinisterly Black. Your main machine is sweet. Can you tell me more about the specs, especially the size and type of your monitor? The monitor actually is just a TV. I have a graphics card or a video card that has a TV out. The monitor, the TV in there is actually a pretty obscure size. It was made before they started slapping speakers on the side, so for years I've been looking for a replacement one in case that one goes. And I've actually been looking for one with S-Video because right now it's just running RCAs, which isn't the greatest for text. It's really blurry, but games themselves look great on there. So yeah, I think it's a 24-inch TV running a Pentium 3 or 4 shitty old computer in there. It's got some computer speakers that have been built in, and they're all Sanway Japanese joystick parts. That's all I really know about it, to be honest. Ed, you're going to get inundated with questions, so I'll limit myself to one. I know this is a good question. I know you were nervous about showing your face on camera for a while, but do you believe that has anything to do with your growing audience, or is it just a coincidence? You seem more confident in your videos now. The main reason why I didn't show my face at first is I was just, yeah, I was unconfident. I mean, I still am. This is still awkward to me. I've never been big for standing in front of people and talking. It helps, like anything, when you know what kind of know what you're talking about and you're excited about what you're talking about. So that's a big thing. But I still say and every second sentence. So that was the main reason. I was just nervous and awkward, I guess. Has it helped? I'm sure it's helped. Mainly because when I show my face, you can see the background. I think that's what's helped the most. People see my collection and get interested and want to watch my videos more. So, XX Comeback Kid XX, do you consider yourself more of a gamer or more of a collector? I read this one a couple days ago and I've been thinking about it. I guess because I'm not playing as much as I'd like to, maybe I'm more of a collector right now. I guess I'm always a gamer, but if I'm collecting more than I'm actually being able to play, am I more of a collector? So I don't know, I guess I can say I am more of a collector right now. Strutton and Retton, when do you think your cartridge games will become too expensive for your average collector to buy? I don't think that's going to happen. I think the market is going to level itself out eventually. 33 minutes. Oh man. With any collecting, look at baseball cards. They took a dive. I don't think gaming's ever going to take that big of a dive, but it will come down. Prices and stuff will level out a little bit. It's just really hot right now. You'll get a lot of people who are just in it for a quick burst and then they'll be gone. Robert Rivas, in your honest opinion, what do you think is the most comfortable controller of all time? Sometimes most comfortable and best controller can differ. So if you think a most comfortable controller isn't the best controller, what is the best controller? Oh, I think the best controller of all time, to be honest, is the PS4, the DualShock 4. I know when I originally got the Xbox One, I thought that was the greatest controller ever, but this thing is extremely comfortable. The problem is the rubber's been breaking off of these. You can see, I'm going to do a little video on that, but I have little covers on those that work fantastic, so I'll tell you guys where to get those. Other than that, this controller is extremely comfortable. I'm very happy. I've gotten more used to the parallel sticks, which I definitely like the staggered sticks better. and I was a big fan. The Xbox, the 360 controller is right up there with it. But I think this is the most comfortable controller ever. The GameCube controller is very comfortable. That's probably a close second. I think that's very, very comfortable controller. Best controller, I still love the sticks on the Neo Geo Pocket Color with that clicky thumb pad. Love that. I just have to look here. N64 controller, I guess that's probably a debatable one in terms of best. It introduced the analog sticks, so that had there's a big thing there. Have you ever played the Tenchu games? If so, what do you think of them? Mike Tomlinson. I played Tenchu on the PS1. I really don't remember, it was so long ago, and I haven't played one since. Nintendo Boy 2012. I want to start collecting, but I'm not sure where or how to start. Any tips? I've already given a whole bunch there. Peter Wagner. What does your wife think about your obsession with games? I've answered that. Laurent Tardif. I was asking myself, why don't you have more subs? That's been growing my subs have been, I've been getting more and more subs very quickly, so thank you for that. Your collection is way more big than most of the YouTubers. Here's my question. This is a great one. Do you plan on using the UGC Universal Game Case to store your loose games? Thanks again. I'm starting to mumble here. I really haven't, to be honest. Maybe someday I will. I don't mind having some loose games, and I always just feel like maybe eventually I will find it boxed and complete, so I don't really want to. And then it's going to take up way more space, so to be honest, I probably won't use the universal game cases. Then you got to print out all the labels, which can be a pain because I don't have a printer and I have to go to Staples, and then they could ding you because it could be copyright, and it's kind of a nightmare. James McKeown. Sorry about butchering these names. Favorite Ninja Turtle? I'd have to say Michelangelo. I just kind of liked his personality in the cartoons, and I always liked the nunchucks as a kid. Ride Now, Think Later. Favorite N64 game? What is your favorite horror game? Favorite horror game? I love Condemned. It was a launch title for the 360. Probably Resident Evil 4 would be my favorite horror game. I think Zombie U is a fantastic game. I think Zombie U is one of the best survival horror games in recent memory. The first part of the question, favorite N64 game? Oh, let me see. Mario Kart? I like the Mario Kart N64. I know it's not one of the favorites, but I'm drawing a blank here. Yeah, I don't really know. To be honest, I played a lot of the wrestling games on the N64. I really enjoyed, but I don't know if I have a favorite. I have to think about that one. Nick Shaner, do you listen to 1,000 Foot Crunch? Or 1,000 Foot Crutch, sorry. No idea who that is. Please, Nick, let me know who 1,000 Foot Crutch is. Dante, oh geez, Barcenas? Not really a question, but do you show at least a picture of your family? That'd be cool. My family's been in videos. You can see my boys in videos. There'll be in more videos coming up. 22227. Do you think the future of rarity and values of games in the next 5 years is all about buying up collector's editions? For instance, games like Xenoblade and Ni no Kuni. So basically he's asking, will collector's editions be the only ones that are really hold value and the regular editions be not as desirable? It's going to be the same as it is right now. Ni no Kuni, the basic Ni no Kuni and Xenoblade, like look at Xenoblade right now, it's worth a ton of money. I mean, the collector's editions will always be worth more, but there'll still be lots of value in just the loose. If you compare it to loose and complete, that's how it's going to be. Collector's edition and non-collector's edition. Why is your channel name SeeJayAre? I already answered that. Favorite genre of music? Most valuable sentimental vinyl you own? I don't really have anything sentimental. I have some blues records that are definitely worth some money. But my favorite genre of music is definitely classic hip hop from probably, I would say, 92 to 99. In my opinion, is the golden era of hip hop, and it's for the most part it's shit lately. So yeah, classic hip hop. I love soul, R&B, funk, anything like that. I still love ska. I still love stuff like Sublime. All summer long, that's pretty much all I listen to. Pepper, stuff like that. The gaming file. I wonder if you think it's an advantage or disadvantage being a collector in Canada. I have to say it's an advantage. I seem to live in an area where I'm able to get stuff pretty cheap for garage selling. It's a disadvantage because the area that I live in has got to be one of the craziest places for resellers in North America, to be honest. And it drives up prices like crazy. There's a retro game store opening around here constantly. There's been one every 6 months for the last couple of years, which completely ruins Kijiji. I never find deals on Kijiji anymore, but it helps when I'm trying to flip stuff because people want so much money for it, and I've just undercut everybody, and my stuff just goes, and I'm happy. So, Jackson Matley, have you played most of the games in your collection? No, not even close. Pop, Axe Squat. Show your next gen gaming collection. MTB435, how do you afford to buy stuff week after week, especially the new stuff you pay full retail for? I don't pay full retail for anything, to be honest. Very, very rarely. Even my next gen stuff, I got all those games for 40 bucks a piece. And I've talked about that before. I'm sure there's something I paid full price for recently, but I can't think of it. It's extremely rare that I pay full price for anything. B-Rad Gaming, how do you find community sales in your area? Basically, I search Kijiji ads. Steph's Too Deaf, what games really got you into the hobby? Like I said, it would probably be the original NES games. I pulled them out of my... I was fishing around in my attic, I pulled out my Nintendo, so I was playing stuff like Duck Hunt with my dad, and we were having a lot of fun. Then I just started grabbing a couple more to play, and then I picked up a Super Nintendo, and it all snowballed from there. Who inspired you? Owen Palmer. Who inspired you to start YouTube? Tom, TB4667, and a guy by the name of Easy B Man, who used to post pickup videos. And neither of them are no longer making videos, so those guys got me into it in terms of YouTube. When do you think cartridge games will be extremely rare and extremely hard to find and rarely expensive? Struttin' and Ruttin. They're at their peak right now. Video game collecting is at its peak. This is the highest they've ever been. It's probably going to go up a bit more, but like I said, I think it's going to even out, and you'll see it die off a bit. What game games you played from start to finish more than 2 times? Bioshock. I played the original Bioshock all the way through twice. That's all I can think of right now. Fart. What do you do for a living to be able to afford all this stuff? I already talked about that. I'm just going to skip these. This is the last question, Dan Mack. Did becoming a father affect the way you spend in games? Did you start to spend more or less, or not affect at all? It definitely affected me. I couldn't justify going out and spending a ton of money on video games. And when I have 2 kids, it's different when you're single and you have a ton of disposable income, but it's just hard to justify stuff like that when you have 2 kids. But it may seem like I spend a ton of money, and I've said this over and over, but with the money that I get garage selling, and I do keep a budget every month. I have an idea, and I know when I'm starting to spend too much, and I'll pull it back and not spend anything the next month. So, anyways, guys, that's it. This video was way too long, 45 minutes. I don't know who's gonna stick. I don't know who's gonna watch this whole thing. If you're still watching this, thank you. And I don't know, maybe I guess you're interested in what I have to say, but this is ridiculous. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for asking all the questions. again, if you like the video, if you're still here, please give me a thumbs up. Always goes a long, long way. I can't thank you guys enough for just hitting that like button. Anyways, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for a new video coming up in the next couple days. Will be my video game sellers episode that I filmed while I was in Florida. Anyways, thanks. Later.